Welcome back, everybody, to LinuxAcademy.com. My name is Terry, and in today's course, we continue with the Linux Professional Institute Certification Level 2, Exam 1. I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about not only the course, but the exam itself for LPIC. And this isn't specific to Exam 1, it's not specific to the second level, it's specific to LPI and how they structure their exams versus others like, for example, the Linux Foundation or the Red Hat organization. So first of all, we want to talk about LPIC 2. What is it? Obviously, in short, it's the Linux Professional Institute Certification Level 2, and in our case, this particular course is for Exam 1. And it's the first exam in obtaining the associated second level Linux certification that LPIC offers. LPIC being short for Linux Professional Institute Certification. It's designed to validate the student's ability to administer mixed networks running Linux systems. This is directly from their site. You must already have obtained the LPIC 1 certification to receive the LPIC 2 certification. However, the exams themselves can be taken in any order. So even if you don't have LPIC 1, you can take the LPIC 2, Exam 1, and Exam 2. Once you pass and obtain the LPIC 1 certification, if the LPIC 2 certification exams were passed and are on record within the 5 years that these certifications are good for, then you'll receive the LPIC 2 certification automatically. Obviously, I recommend that you take the LPIC 1, Exam 1, and Exam 2, and you'll also find those certification prep courses right here on Linux Academy, just as an FYI. LPIC 2 is considered an intermediate level certification, and you can kind of see that as the equivalent from the perspective of LPI of the Red Hat or Linux Foundation Certified Engineer exam. First level being the administration or administrator exam, and the second level being the certified engineer. And here's where LPI differs a lot from the Linux Foundation or Red Hat. So this exam from Linux Professional Institute is both a multiple choice and a fill-in-the-blank exam. It's not a performance-based exam where you'll be executing actual commands on a physical or virtual machine. For example, Linux Foundation and Red Hat, when you sit the exam, will actually present you with a virtual machine and various scenarios that you have to complete, and then they will grade how you complete those, getting the expected responses by testing the snapshot of your system, testing a file that you had to create or the size of a disk or those kinds of things. Now, from the LPI perspective, the hands-on experience you'll gain here will help you successfully associate the utilities and their functions to what you need to memorize in order to be successful. In other words, in the LPI exam, because you're going to be asked questions either as a scenario, you'll be presented with scenario-based questions, in other words, those that want you to provide a specific way of accomplishing something, or a multiple choice or fill in the blank where you have to provide a path, name of a file, command line switches, or any or all of the above. So what we'll do is we'll show you ways of accomplishing each of the things that specifically pertain to the topics at hand. We're going to go over a large number of utilities and ways of doing things. Everything that's covered in the LPI objectives, and if you're unsure about what those are, you can either visit lpi.org or you can view our syllabus where we go over in a lot of detail each individual section, the subsections, and all of the key knowledge areas and lists of files, terms, and utilities that we're going to go over. I will try to keep these from the student perspective into short single topics. And the reason is because where memorization is involved, I don't want to present too many files, utilities, or topics in a single video, and things start to get jumbled in your head. This way, if we break things out into smaller chunks in shorter times, it might help you to keep things clear, and it'll give you the ability to very easily and very quickly revisit topics that you may need to in order to finish preparing for the exam. The general requirements, and these are the top level requirements, that you're expected to be able to perform advanced system administration tasks, including those involving the kernel, system startup, networking, and maintenance. Perform advanced management of block storage and file systems. Understand and apply advanced networking, authentication, and system security like firewalls, ACLs, VPNs, etc. Install and configure fundamental network and system services like DHCP, DNS, SSH, web, file servers, FTP, NFS, Samba, and more. And this is the general requirements for LPIC 2, and this can include topics that will be covered in exam 2. This is just the general requirements for the entire second level certification that we're talking about. We'll also report and plan for network and system capacity needs, and we'll supervise junior administrators and assistants while advising management on automation capacity and functional needs. So if one of the things, for example, that's part of LPIC 2 is email, and we won't cover email topics as part of exam 1. So not everything that I'm talking about in terms of general requirements here are in the first exam. The syllabus will tell you the main topics and everything that we're going to cover in about 20 minutes. So again, we're going to talk a lot about what utilities to do what activities, and ultimately we're going to provide a study guide that'll help you through your preparation. And I recommend that when you're done with the course, when you've finished watching all the videos, when you have completed all the labs, when you've taken the end of course assessment quiz, I recommend you download the study guide that we make available, and it will have the tools, utilities, command line parameters, locations, and everything that you need to know on a section by section basis. And that will be kind of your last preparation stop. Memorize the study guide. From an LPIC perspective, we are talking about memorization. And unlike in other performance-based exams where you, in order to get a result, you can pick or choose what command that you use, in the LPI, they're going to ask you, if you use command X, what parameter do you provide for it to do Y? You can't just pick a command that'll get to an end result. They're going to ask you, hey, do you know this command and the command line parameters that are necessary to run it? So it's important for you to have a vast array of information memorized for this exam, and the context of the videos in which these utilities apply is equally important. So again, we'll try to keep them concise, utility by utility, section by section, and make sure you watch each video as many times as you feel the need to. So for the introduction to LPIC 2 in general and the exam itself, that's all there is to it. My name is Terry for Linux Academy.